Welcome, everyone, to the June 25th, 2019 City Council meeting. Let the record show that all council members are present with the exception of Chair Nadolski's, who is excused this evening. I've asked Council Member Heyer to do the pledge for us.
Please rise and repeat the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight we have a recognition for the Soroptimist of Ogden, and Councilmember White has agreed to do that recognition.
Thank you, Vice Chair Chaburka. I'm very honored to be able to do this tonight. The Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize Soroptimist of Ogden for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. Soroptimist of Ogden has improved the lives of women and girls in the Ogden area since its founding in 1939. They have provided them with necessary resources to find success and reach their full potential. Through its various programs, women and girls have felt a sense of social and economic empowerment. In May 2019, the Soroptimist of Ogden celebrated 80 years of dedicated and meaningful service in our community. Established in 1921, Soroptimist is an international women's organization with around 160,000 members. The organization places an emphasis on gender equality, empowerment, education, diversity, and fellowship. Soroptimist ensures that women and girls have an equal voice in building safe and healthy communities. We are grateful for the contributions of Soroptimist in the Ogden community. The immense impact it has had on the city is invaluable. We look forward to the organization's continued success for many years to come. Presented this 25th day of June 2019. And with that, I'd like to present you with the recognition.
Would you like to come up and collect it? And anybody else can come up too and shake our hands. Oh, yes, and we'll get a big picture and then you can say some words.
Thank you very much, Marcia. Oh, that's beautiful.
Shiniano?
We appreciate these things.
Come on down and shake all of our hands.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that's it? I don't even get a handshake.
It's good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Then we'll get a picture.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Back up here. I don't need one of the mayors over here.
Yeah.
And we don't have any either.
And
I thought that was ink when I saw it. I'm like, what?
Whole nother problem.
Is this a good side?
I don't have one.
One, two, three.
Brandon or Tracy?
Here one more time. 1, 2, 3.
She doesn't know who to look at.
At the podium.
They have it.
You can take it.
Good evening. I'm Carol Felicia. I'm the current president, and I thank you so much for this. It was so unexpected, and really quite exciting for us. So we are very honored to accept this plaque. You've already talked about some of the things that I was thinking to say tonight. We are a nonprofit here in Ogden. We have 43 active members, and we have no paid staff. And that's kind of important to us because many of the nonprofits that we work with and interface with are the bigger nonprofits where they do have a staff. So we have to do everything. And our two programs that we promote here in Ogden are called our DREAM programs, are the Live Your Dream Award, Education and Training Award for women. These women are women who are going to school, who are single mothers usually, or have dependents, it could be a husband or parents, and have a need. Well, any mother going to school has a need, so we don't have a problem trying to find people for our awards. And the last few years, we have been funded by United Way of Northern Utah for our awards. We've received $11,000 in the last 2 years. We feel very fortunate, but we'd like more because we would love to expand the numbers of women who are getting the awards and the award amount. We've been giving $1,000. You know, that just doesn't go too far, but it is wonderful to be able to give women money that they control how it's being spent. And they've done all kinds of things, bought tires, childcare, bus passes, a computer, lots of things that they can do with $1,000. And the other program we have is called Dream It Be It Career Program Support for Girls, in which we are looking for girls who may be, I don't want to say disadvantaged, but who are at risk. And this year we partnered with Weber State University, the TRIO program, and they helped us to find girls who could use and appreciate the kind of training. It's a 7-part sessions. We did it in a 1-day event, and the girls were wonderful. You know, some of our friends in other clubs thought, well, it's really hard to control them, and you'll have a hard time. Never had that. They were wonderful girls, so we did enjoy doing that. So we are seeking applicants for our awards this year. And our award period is 1 August through the 15th of November. And we hope to find the additional funding in order to increase the numbers and to increase diversity in the population that we give the awards to. And then we'll be doing our Dream It Be It program in the wintertime, January, the end of January. That seems to be an appropriate time with the school year. So, and that's for girls 14 to 17. And we're going to continue our work here in Ogden. We have no intention. We're 80 years strong, and we like it that way. And even though those of us that are here tonight have a lot of gray hair, we do have younger members, but they're the ones that work every day, you know. So not that we don't work, right? Yeah. So it's really wonderful. Again, I'd like to thank you for this honor. And we will continue our mission because we are 80 years strong. And I have a little copy about what we're doing and stuff. If you want me to leave that.
That'd be great.
Okay.
And it's got my name and phone number on it. I can be the point of contact. I will have to rely on a lot of these ladies. If you call with a question or concern, there are people that I can turn to. I am going to be the president for 6 more days.
Oh,
And after that, I'm going to be queen for life.
yes.
We have a wonderful new president coming in, and it's that time of year, 1st of July, that we trade over. But I'll still be a director, and so I will be able to help you with anything that you might have, a name of a person that needs an award, that kind of thing. So anyway, thank you again. We really, truly appreciate this recognition. We've been trying real hard to be more visible in the community, and this is just a wonderful, wonderful surprise for us. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just going to ask a quick question about what is involved in the application process. So do they just look at your website and then submit an application, or?
Yes, there is an online process, an online website. It goes through www.soroptimist.org, through SIA, and it is then filtered down through to a club in the area of where the application came from. And we have been very, very successful. what we try to do is go out to all of the community organizations we possibly can to try to get them to understand that these applications are available, work through the Women's Center at Weber State, that kind of thing. So we hope to get more applications that identify us so that we could give out more awards. So thank you. Are there any other
Other
questions?
questions or comments?
Okay. I was remiss.
Yeah,
Go
no, I
ahead.
just have a quick comment, when I first found out about you, I don't know at what event you were out in the hot summer days, but I wanted to do a recognition, and I'm sorry that it took so long, but we wanted to do it for
A special
a
day.
special
It is.
year, and so it had to wait a little while. But these ladies are amazing, and giving back to the women in our community is just fantastic. So I totally appreciate everything
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
Thank you. Please tell all your friends and neighbors we've got money.
Any other questions or comments?
No, thank you very much.
Thank
No,
you.
thank
Thank you very
you.
much. I hope you don't feel abandoned when we all walk out the door.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
okay. Thank you. Although there is a public forum, like a little community meeting over there, I think, right? You could go to if you want to. Great, thank you. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Great, so we have approval of minutes. So the first one is from Councilmember Stevens, the work session of December 4th, 2018.
Yes, Vice Chair, they're correct.
Thank you. And Councilmember Heyer with the work session of January 8th, 2019.
Yes, I've read those and found them to be accurate.
And finally, the regular meeting of 2019. I'm sorry, January 8th, 2019, Councilmember Blair.
Yes, thank you. I have read those and found them to be correct. And I would make a motion that we approve all of the minutes listed.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Blair and a second by Councilmember Heyer to approve the minutes. It's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's passed. Great. We have the common consent, the water utility fees. So this is just to set the public hearing for July 16th, 2019.
Vice Chair Chaburko, I propose that we set the public hearing for the proposed ordinance 2019-29.
Thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember White and a second by Councilmember Blair to set the public hearing for water utility fees for July 16th, 2019. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay. So now we have reports from the Planning Commission, the proposed rezone of property at 1752 Pacific Avenue. And I believe we have Clint to talk with us about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good evening. Okay, so this is a request that was heard by the Planning Commission in April this year to rezone a piece of property out in the Gibson area, 1752 Pacific, from its current zone of M1 to an R15 zone. So this is a vicinity map of the property to be rezoned. You can see it highlighted in red. It's right adjacent to an R15 zone, and then it's located currently in the M1 zone. The R15 zone was a rezone that took place in about 2016 as part of the Gibson community plan that was updated. So the applicant is requesting to rezone about a half an acre to build a single-family home on it. This is a map showing the single-family homes that exist in the area. As you can see, there's several on the street, several to the further to the east as well, and then the multipath is up through there as well, coming from the river. So the factors of consideration as we look at the general plan. This is in conformance because it's surrounded by single-family homes to the east and the south of it. It is an area of transition between the M1 and the R15 zone. Pacific Avenue would act as a buffer between those two uses. The uses on the on the west side of Pacific, they're not, even though they're manufacturing, they're not as intense, and the areas aren't conducive for a large operation. So it kind of fits in between that residential niche. This is also supported. The rezone is also supported in the Gibson Community Plan. During the rezone, as I mentioned, a lot of properties were rezoned from M1 to the R15. This one was not, because the community members wanted to have some flexibility with for their investments and what kinds of uses they want to do for their properties down the road. But with this request, it does fall within that provision to allow for this type of rezone to take place. So as I mentioned, it was heard by the Planning Commission in April. It did receive unanimous vote for approval. And if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer what I can.
Any questions?
Did you bring the petitioner with
Is
you?
the petitioner here?
Yeah.
Sure.
If you'd like to make any comment, you're welcome to.
Anyway, thank you for the consideration of rezoning that parcel. The home just to the south of the parcel in question is currently occupied by my aunt, and she's the one that's desiring to develop that lot to the south of it and put a home on there for herself. She's owned it it's been in the family for quite some time, and it's getting real difficult for her to find affordable housing. We're going to be fixing up her current home and then selling that, but it's got some stairs in it and stuff that's making it difficult. So she would just like a single family, one-level home that she can have for retirement. So that was all I wanted to say, is what the purpose was it for.
Any questions?
So when are you going to start construction if this is passed?
She has some plans that just need some engineering looked at it, and then we just need an estimate from the builder, but we didn't go forward with that until the zoning's done. But she's pretty much ready to go. Yeah. Probably be about a month and a half, I imagine, and then the permit takes about 3 weeks or a month to get that. So hopefully before snow flies.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
you bet.
So there's an opportunity to receive input if anybody else would like to speak about the rezone. I guess not. I don't see anybody out there.
Madam Vice Chair, if it's okay, I'll make a motion. I think this is a worthy use of this property. So and so I'll make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2019-30.
I second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember Stevens to approve the proposed ordinance. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Blair?
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer?
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Vice Chair Chaburka?
Aye. And that passes. Thank you. So now we have reports from administration. We have Debbie Colvin, who will talk to us about the appointment of the city constable. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to discuss the adoption of the resolution to appoint Rob Kolkman as Ogden City Constable. The passage of the prior resolution, 2019-7, the City Council established a need for a constable and formation of a nominating commission. The city administrator published an RFP on April 28th and May 5th. There were two proposals that were submitted by the deadline of May 10th. One was from Rob Kolkman with Wasatch Constables. The other was with All Pro Security. The nominating commission met on May 22nd to review the proposals. The nominating commission consisted of Judge Clay Stuckey of the Ogden City Justice Court, Janine Eller-Smith from Ogden City Council, Chief Watt from Ogden City Police, Mara Brown, Deputy City Attorney, and Annie Blackburn was our citizen member. Myself and Leslie Judkins, HR and risk manager, provided staff assistance. The proposals were reviewed for responsiveness, firm, and I didn't go over my notes very well, I apologize. Firm and staff qualifications, and proposed fees and costs. The fees and costs provided by All Pro would have increased our costs significantly for bailiff services and court security. The fees and costs provided by Rob Kolkman of Wasatch Constables does include an increase, but the increase would not have been as much as it would be had we accepted the All Pro proposal. Wasatch Constable is the current provider of our court security and bailiff services, and there have been no concerns with her performance under the current contract. Based on its review of the selection criteria, the nomination commission unanimously determined that Rob Kolkman was the most qualified as Ogden City Constable. So if you have no further questions.
Any questions?
So I do have a quick question. You reviewed it, it's not just cost that you reviewed it, correct? It was all other qualifications.
It was costs and
that followed the RFP or whatever.
Yeah. With both of them, there was issues with, not issues, I shouldn't say issues, with there was a $4 difference in the fee, hourly rate, how many people they would have. They didn't have an Ogden City office. That was a concern as well. We wanted someone that was local.
Right.
And transport fees were higher, so kind of across the board there was some additional costs, warrant service.
Thanks. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
I'm willing to entertain some motion on that if anybody would like to.
I'll make a motion then that we adopt Resolution 2019-13, appointing Rob Kolkman as the City Constable.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember Lopez. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Heyer,
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Blair,
Aye.
Vice Chair Chaburka.
Aye. Thank you. That passes. Now we have a public comment period where you're able to comment on any concerns or ideas or any topic to the City Council. We just ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Please. Yeah, right here.
State your name for the record, please. Will do. Thank you.
Sorry, I just left my notes.
It's harder than it looks.
Yeah. All right. So my name is Kaya Hill, and I am a very recent graduate of Weber State University, and I am here to talk about the last legislative session, the bill for HB 411, which was passed. You may know about this because I'm sure we've talked about it, but it's the 100% renewable bill, the obviously net renewable, and that essentially is that allows cities to collaborate with Rocky Mountain Power to opt into a 100% net renewable energy program. I am strongly in favor of seeing our city, Ogden City, of course, achieve 100% renewable energy. And this is mostly due to because I obviously want clean air to breathe, clean water to drink in my cup, of course, and also a climate that I can have snow and go ski and also just things of that nature. As a citizen, I have a vested interest in the future of Ogden City, and I would like to request that the City Council consider joining the Utah communities who have already joined, like Salt Lake City, Cottonwood Heights, Moab, and Summit County, who have already committed to the program. I don't want to see Ogden City left behind. And I would like to request that how the city is engaged in the important issue would be that Ogden City, you as the council, would conduct a work session for yourselves, because I know that you have already requested this of your new sustainability committee, which is awesome, by the way. I'm so glad you did that. But I think because the deadline is in December, that I think it is imperative that you educate yourselves as well as while they are doing it as well. And I actually, my sister is actually on that committee, which is awesome. She hasn't been able to come to any of the meetings because her work schedule is the opposite. But what I've heard is that there is a thing coming up on Thursday that they are bringing people from the city to come talk to it, if that's something that you want to educate yourselves on. But essentially, I think it's a really good opportunity to learn more about that renewable energy thing and seeing if it's right for Ogden City. But yes, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you are correct. We're asking the Sustainability Committee to look at that bill to give us, their insight on that. And we also have had the staff do an overview for us as well. So we're interested to learn more about it. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Yes, my name is John Prescott, and I am representing Roads to Independence. As you well know from the City Council, I have been bugging you about joining in a wheelchair contest from the City Council with Wheeling Wildcats. On October 10th is the date that has been set aside at Mount Ford Junior High School there. We have wheelchairs set aside that are conducive for you to practice in. And we're anticipating a great turnout from the City Council.
Are you going to be our captain?
Am I going to be the captain?
Yeah, for us.
I'll be the captain for you, but I'm not going to be wheeling around.
That'd be awesome. I think we
But
would be the captain.
this is an opportunity to show the city that the City Council does support people with disabilities. And this will be a fun time. I will guarantee you will have fun. Because I'll be there to tease you a lot and to, slow you down.
Oh.
But we are anticipating having you come there and participate. Of course, you know that you only need 5 players at a time, so that means you can get a lot of rest in between each time that you're in the chair and after that. But anyway, I'd just like to let you know that between now and October, I'm going to be forthcoming more and more to the City Council to encourage you. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at Roads to Independence, or I can give you my phone number here, and you can contact me here. And the number is 801-668-7572. And so I will be anticipating seeing all of you there in your best suits. Thank you very much for this offer. Any questions that you have for me?
Who will we be playing, John?
They're playing the Wheeling Wildcats.
You got a bunch of ringers, don't you?
Yeah. We have people from from.
Yeah, that's not going to be fair.
I
can guarantee you they'll give you a 40-point spread.
40. We might have to negotiate that up a little.
They'll probably beat you by 30.
Yeah, probably
It's
so.
one of those little tiny hoops.
It is on our calendar already, John.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's on our calendar.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for any other questions.
When are the practices?
What's that?
We have to figure that out. Let's put it on our list. We'll have to figure it out.
Okay, thank
Our
you.
practice schedule.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it, John.
I think we ought to use our council staff also with this.
I was thinking about having a
Yeah, I think,
we have a couple young folks maybe can help us out there.
More the merrier. More the merrier, you know.
Bless you. And only call John if it's about this issue, because you've just given the whole public your home phone number. So, yeah. Thank you.
I'm Marcus Benoff. I'm also a recent Weber State graduate. I am in support of the 100% net renewable energy program and in Ogden signing on to the bill HB 411. Humanity's future matters most to me, and clean energy will lead to a cleaner world, cleaner future, and cleaner lifestyles. I would make it more personal to Ogden. Like, our future must be 100% renewable, not only for humanity's future, but also for Ogden's future. I support the idea that we need to move quicker towards signing Ogden onto the 100% net renewable energy program, because we have only until December to take advantage of this amazing opportunity. I support this because of the impacts that it will have on snowpacks, air quality, water availability, the economy, lives, the ecosystems, and the land on which we dwell and admire.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
He's a good friend of mine. Any other comments?
You come up with smiles. I like that.
I know.
My name is Carrie Franz, and I'm a professor at Weber State University in Earth Sciences. I'm also a resident in District 3. And I'm here in support of these young people who you just heard speaking and who came with me today, or rather I came with them. They asked me to be here for moral support. There are quite a few more who were interested in this matter, but they were nervous about going to a city council meeting, which hopefully I'll be able to get them to overcome over time. But thank you for hearing them.
Yeah, they're welcome anytime.
I know. Thank you for hearing them. I wanted to stress that as you look at these young people, it's their future that this matter is going to most significantly impact. It's their environmental, their health, and their economic future that's at stake. We have until December 31st to make a commitment. I know that some of the folks on the Sustainability Council, that thank you for forming, by the way, are nervous about being able to get the work done that needs to be done in order to make a well thought out commitment and plan. So we're urging the council members to help them have the time that they need to put together a plan that will work for Ogden. So thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question for you?
Yes,
Could
please.
you leave a phone number with Brandon?
Yes.
And so we could talk offline?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to talk to you about
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name's Joshua Palmer. I finally got to move to Ogden City. And I'm really excited about it. I've always loved Ogden, and I really love to see some of the changes that are happening here. And I know that that has to do with the hard work of not only the city council, but the city administrators, the police force, public works department. I know that y'all make our lives better, so I appreciate that. I'm an Eagle Scout, a business owner, father of 3, and I think Ogden's the best city in Utah.
We agree.
I believe in local government. I think that local government can set the example. I also think that businesses set the example. We have seen hundreds of businesses every month make commitments towards renewable energy. These aren't just, certain businesses or fringe businesses. ExxonMobil has made a commitment towards more renewable energy. As a business owner, and as somebody who wants to see the economic viability of Ogden continue to grow and improve, I think that that's something that needs to be taken into consideration as we consider 100% renewable energy. I think businesses will be drawn to areas that help them easily reach their renewability goals. And so I think that there's an economic argument for this. And I think that if we don't lead the way, that we could be left behind. I think businesses can go to some of the cities that have already made this commitment. The other thing that I would just like to bring up from an economic opportunity standpoint is that as soon as Salt Lake City and Park City and some of the others that have made that commitment, an RFP went out to hire firms and Utahns to work on these sustainability projects, created jobs. And I think that there are opportunities, if there's a commitment from this council, not just for Utahns, but for Ogden locals to have creative and great opportunities to have local jobs here in Ogden that are well-paid jobs and that can contribute to the future for our kids and for our economy. Once again, thank you. I know that this is volunteer. I know you guys all have your own jobs and that you're taking time out of your day to serve the people of Ogden. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
He's been very patient.
Hello, my name's Sean Cherry, also known as the Jupiter Train Driver.
Hi.
This Saturday was the opening of the farmers market, and I pulled up in my train, or the train, and I was told that it was canceled. And I had to go back to the garage. So my original intent was to come to the meeting today and complain about that. But since then, I've been in contact with special services people, and they've assured me that they're going to have some meetings with myself and Ashley and Mark in regard to the train, about keeping it running. I know you all ride the train for the Electric Light Parade. So what I'm here tonight to do is to ask for the city council's support in keeping the Jupiter train running for the farmers market, for Christmas Village. Basically, that's it.
Oh, thank you.
You guys got any questions?
Questions?
I think it's part of Ogden, isn't it?
It is part of Ogden. But I've been driving it for years. It's been a part of the farmers market and the Christmas Village for many years. I transport thousands of riders, happy children. They were all very sad that the train was not there this Saturday. Risk management has said that they didn't want to have the risk of the train running anymore. But I think if we can do some redesign on the train, maybe enclose it a little bit where the kids can't hang out of it, I think maybe that was their major concern, that we can keep the train running.
Thank you. We don't want to take any more of your time up. If you'd like to say anything else before your time's up.
No, that's it. I'm just looking for some support, keep that train running and keep the kids happy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
We got it.
Hello, Angel Castillo. I too wanted to speak about HB 411, and we've talked about this in this forum before. And I specifically wanted to bring a couple of points to your attention about HB 411. The deadline, yes, December. It's looming quickly, and I understand that everybody's on board with having the commission look at that and bring results back to you. But I'm a little nervous about the time span because government moves very slowly. The thing that I think is important to note is that I strongly suggest that you seriously looked at an opt-out version with Rocky Mountain Power. Other states and cities that have done these types of things, there is a proven success model for more people participating in the program when everybody is opted in and the residents opt out if they choose not to participate in that green energy consumption. So the statistics on that speak for themselves. I also wanted to speak to you on the 20th. I went to the UTA and Utah Foundation Summit, and a bunch of people, Andrew Gruber from the Wasatch Regional Council was there, people from UTA, and we were talking about how we're growing as a city, or how we're growing on the Wasatch Front and what we're doing. And the most interesting thing that I heard there was from Bryson Garbett, who is part of Garbett Homes. And Garbett Homes has been in business over 30 years. They've built over 5,000 homes and apartments, primarily along the Wasatch Front. And one of the things that Bryson had put at the forefront is how we can change our code to be green. Most cities along the Wasatch Front are still building from home building standards from 2012. And the Bryson specializes in net zero energy rated homes, which are twice as efficient as the 2012 code. And I applaud you for our committee to save our environment and air, and I think that's an important piece that we need to consider. It's something that the council can enact, making sure that our code is updated so that when new homes are built, that they're meeting the green energy standards. He had a bunch of really great successful stories and some packages. I'm happy to send those to you, but I just strongly urge you to, while we're looking at everything, let's look at some of the pieces that we can actually move the needle on. It's a small thing. It doesn't cost the city anything. Thank you. Thank you.
Public comment.
I just appreciate you guys coming here during dinner hour, and thank you very much for your service.
Sure.
I made a little chemical reaction here in my yard, and this is a piece of plastic.
Do you mind saying your name?
Oh, yeah, my name is Ed Mackner, and I was a teacher, and I'm still a teacher, I guess. This is a piece of plastic. It looks clear, and I put a match to it, and it burned. And you see the black? That's fossil carbon. That's 100 million years of a plant material that's been buried. And we pulled it up out of the ground. And then I just made this chemical reaction very simply by letting a match to the plastic. Well, the plastic there's three reactions here. There's one reaction, the carbon. When there's lots of oxygen, you won't see the carbon. When there's a little bit of oxygen, you still won't see it. You'll see carbon monoxide. And then when there's not enough oxygen, you'll see the carbon. So this is the carbon in the plastic. My reason for being here is to suggest to you an alternative to HB 411 for Ogden City and Ogden citizens. And that is to employ or to look at another vendor that will help the citizens by reducing our taxes and making Ogden an energy company. Now that sounds kind of way out, but there are companies that are involved in the whole ball of wax. Tesla, for example, sells automobiles, sells batteries, and sells solar. I would suggest, if I were you and if I had power, I would look into what Solar City or what Tesla.com can do for us here. If we could, because we don't know what HB 411 is going to embroil. It doesn't tell us what's going to happen, correct? Because it's still up in the air. But I think we need to work more with, we need to involve competitors. Competition is the menu for America. So my recommendation simply is call Tesla.com and see what they can do for us here in this area. Now, vehicles, police cars, go slow compared to electric vehicles. Batteries, Tesla has done big projects in Australia, China, and I think it's a more complete company. Now, that's not the only company maybe out there, but that's the one that I know of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Daniel Matthews, and I'm a resident of Ogden City. I live right up the road. I originally came to talk about the trains. He asked me to come on Saturday, and so I wanted to give my support because I think that's a valuable community resource. Speaking of community resources, I have recently acquired Indie Ogden, which has typically been an online blog and Instagram social media presence, and we have just turned it into magazine here that we're dropping called Indie Ogden. It's good to see you. I think a couple of you guys might have been able to see it, but we would just like to reach out to you guys. I want to extend my thanks just like everybody else. I know you guys are in thankless positions with long hours and usually hear people chew you out versus saying thank you. But my story, and if you don't mind me sharing it with you, I grew up in Ogden and have recently moved back. And the progress where Ogden has come, where Ogden is going under your stewardship and others is very impressive, and it feels really nice to be home. We are going to be releasing the magazine 30,000 copies every month, 100% dedicated to Ogden. And I would love to give you starting this month, we're going to have a letter from the publisher, and I would love to share with you guys my letter, and I'll micro machine read it real quick just because I think it really encapsulates what we're trying to do as a magazine. So some of us were blessed to be born here, while some of us have happened upon Ogden, or Ogden happened upon us. But however you got here, if you're here, you're a part of Ogden. The beauty of the accessibility of Ogden is the part that you play is entirely up to you. Ogden means many things to many people. For some, it's a stepping stone, a place to hang your hat, or a cost-benefit analysis with the sum of the equation being a higher quality of life. For me, however, Ogden is a part of who I am. It's my foundation. It's something I've been able to carry with me wherever I've been. It's a willingness to say hello to a complete stranger, a sense of community regardless of class. From the East Bench to West Ogden, the epic views and incredibly accessible everything, Ogden is a part of who we all are. Indie Ogden was started to highlight everything awesome in Ogden. Our founder, Michaela, a transplant who fell in love with Ogden, wanted Ogden to know about itself and did an amazing job for almost a decade of weaving Ogden together. When she and I met to discuss the future of Indie Ogden, I told her I believed Indie Ogden was ready to take the next step. So here we are, hand in hand, with Ogden taking the next steps together. Our goal is to highlight Ogden with no agenda other than Ogden is awesome. I keep hearing that word today. It's one of those, and it needs to be celebrated. I knew that for this magazine to succeed, it needed to be a high-quality professional product that would make Ogden proud, and serendipity connected me with Shea Design. Brandy and Matt Shea have been at the forefront of Ogden's marketing and publishing scene for almost 20 years, working with Joe Peckham and others. Their experience, talent, and drive has been on display in Ogden for a long time, and now it's on display monthly with Indie Ogden Magazine. I'm blessed with an incredible team, and we look forward to this journey and hope you will join us. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
I was just checking that out today.
I was going to say, if you haven't seen that, it's pretty
nice.
awesome.
It's really nice. We should bring some in.
Awesome magazine.
Yeah.
Any other public comment? We can't tell people are. We're at the public comment portion of the meeting for those of you that just arrived. If you have anything to say. Okay. So now, any comments from the administration?
Thank you, Council Chair. Just one. I'd like to issue a public apology to Sean in terms of this Jupiter train issue. We did recognize within administration there was a lack of communication with Sean, and he found out about this particular decision on the morning of Saturday. And for that, on behalf of city administration, I publicly apologize because it should have been handled differently. And I think what it was just an oversight of the right arm, didn't know what the left arm was doing, and didn't get that communication. But in terms of that apologies, Mark has extended a commitment to meet with you and talk about some of the options of what can be done with this particular issue. And with the focus is on risk management and on safety. Oftentimes we look at things and they can be extremely fun until they aren't, until that accident occurs and a tragedy occurs. And you've probably seen that in parades and other kind of events that tragic accidents occur. And from a risk standpoint, there was concerns that something could happen, and we wanted to make sure that didn't happen. So we'll explore those issues. No guarantee what the future holds, but we'll roll up our sleeves and work with you and see if we can't find a solution. So I give you that commitment on behalf of Mark and the mayor.
Thank you. Any comments from council members?
I attended the farmers market, and Daniel was right. There was a lot of people down there, and I believe I picked up your magazine. At least there was one there available. So it's nice to have publication of what's happening in Ogden, and that's very beneficial. the Jupiter train, as I mentioned before, is part of Ogden, and I'm pleased that the chief and the administration is willing to work with us and to keep that going. I think it's a valuable tool for us, and I think we ought to continue to use that.
I have a few comments.
Yes.
Can we be kept apprised of whatever happens with the train, please? Thank you. And another comment I have is, do we know if we have accounted for the deadline for HB 411 in the communications with the commission or the committee, sustainability committee, and that's been okay? And is there anything, as it was suggested here, is there anything that we can do on the council to help move these a little bit faster so that we have a chance to look at it and decide what we want to do?
So I'm not that worried about the deadline as some people are. Yes, we do need to get a resolution passed by the end of December, but it's preliminary and it doesn't commit us to anything except that it says we want to be interested and have Rocky Mountain Power look at whether or not they were willing to do a project here. So I'm sure that the sustainability can probably get us a recommendation at least on that issue, so in time for us to get that resolution done. In the meantime, I will work with legal to make sure that we have a resolution completed and in place so that it's ready to go when we need to.
Thank you so much.
To do that.
And that was my understanding too, is that we want the recommendation. They don't have to create a whole plan, because we also have the other effort. We're working on the Utah Clean Energy Grant as well.
Mhm.
So we have a couple of things going on at the same time.
Thank you. And my last question is there any chance that we could, I don't know if we need to put it on the agenda for the work session or if we just bring it up in council business, but about John and his challenge, because I wonder if we need to coordinate a little bit, if anyone is interested. Yeah. I hate to go make a fool of myself, but I really want to be supportive. Yeah. And it sounds to me like what he wants to do is to get a few of us there.
Yeah.
So if there are any suggestions on how we go about that.
I agree. We might need to get a uniform in line. Yeah.
I was trying to think if we could flatten all their tires or something to give us a little bit of a...
We can just play the game.
I think there'll be many of us will make.
I know.
Do we just bring this up in council business, or is that a good way to go?
This is something we're going to have a little bit of some training on, some strategies, somebody to kind of tell us what we're doing.
They just want to laugh at us. That's all.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be great. We can handle it.
Maybe we get Chief Matthew over there to come with us, and
Yeah,
Brandon said he'd come.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. This is under the Godfrey administration. We went out and did this, and
Oh, maybe you can give us some pointers.
the pointers are just plan on getting beat and beat good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
plan on it.
I think they're good. I think they're
really good.
They're good. Yeah. So we're going to be like the Washington Generals against the Globetrotters, I think.
So, Vice Chair, council business or work session agenda item would be appropriate for something like this?
I think there'll be a lot of us who will make fools of ourselves on that day. So.
Yeah, we might need to schedule some time outside
It'll
the work
be
session
fun.
to practice.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get it on some schedule.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one quick comment. I wasn't kidding when I saw the faces, and you are smiling when you come up, because that doesn't happen all that often.
Not often.
And to be the first time coming here, I really appreciate that. And to listen to a very nice legislative bill that has been introduced to us. So thank you very much for coming. It's always a scary endeavor for sure. So thank you.
Agreed. Any other comments? Great. Well, thank you all. I just want to say again, I really applaud you for being willing to step up to the mic. Anybody that was willing to do that tonight. we appreciate engagement, and I heard about the situation at the farmers market, and I apologize as well, although I had no part of it. But yeah, I love the farmers market. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's a beautiful day. And then also just a note that we won't be meeting next week for the Independence Day holiday. So that's just a note. Anything else? So I guess we'll look to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Great, adjourned.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Sorry, I forget every time. I apologize. You have to poke me. Great. So that meeting's adjourned, and then we will reconvene in a moment for the Special Redevelopment Agency meeting. Oh, we're ready. Let's do this. Okay, we are welcome you to the Special Redevelopment Agency meeting of the Ogden City for June 25th, 2019. Please note that all board members are present with the exception of Chair Nadolski, who's excused. What do you call him? Chair. Okay. So the one item on our agenda is a common consent for fiscal year 2019-2020 budget amendment.
Just take it.
Oh, I'll wait today.
You ready for motion?
I think we might be ready for a motion. Sorry.
Okay.
They
I
shushed us.
will make a motion that we approve the common consent agenda for item 2A.
Second.
Sorry.
Great. So we have a motion by Member Hire, Board Member Hire, and a second by Board Member Lopez. Sorry.
We both said it at the same time.
And that's to set the public hearing for this item. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That passes. So we'll have that public hearing on July 9th when we return. Any public comments for this meeting? This would be any concerns, ideas, or any topic. Please state your name for the record and stay within 3 minutes.
Hello again, Angel Castillo. I understand that you'll be considering looking at housing alternatives and considering possibilities of inclusionary zoning. And I just want to reiterate that we are at a particular point in our growth. And again, having gone to that meeting about growth and movement of what's happening with UTA and how we're growing as a community, I think it's imperative that we look to provide workforce housing. And that is something, and when I say workforce housing, I mean rental workforce housing. And inclusionary zoning is something that I sent you a detailed memo on in February, and I'm willing to have a discussion with you. It's something that Salt Lake City has put into motion about 3 years too late. And as we grow as a city, if we are not planning for the projects as they come on board for multifamilies to reserve a section of each project of 10 units or more that has a section for low-income housing and a section for workforce housing, and it doesn't cost the city anything. Developers are bonused with density for their buildings, their parking requirements are removed, and federal financing is available. And it's something that many other cities are looking at, and all of the seminars that I go to with transportation and growth, it's something that we really need to address so that we don't miss our opportunity to make an impact, as pipelines for those type of developments are going to take a while. It's a very conservative estimate to say that you can put a multi-family unit of mixed-use commercial built and on the ground and ready to operate within 3 years. That's really optimistic. So that's my sense of urgency with us as a city having a policy in place, so we're at least not missing the boat on what's coming. So I urge you to please really look into how we can address our housing affordability with regards to inclusionary zoning, accessory dwelling units, and tiny homes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? I don't see any movement. Any comments from the executive director? Nope. And thank you so much for joining us, I should say.
Thank you for having me.
Chief Matthew. Any comments from board members?
I just have one question. Ed in our council meeting brought up that we look at other vendors and other ideas of energy resources. Is this committee going to look at other resources than House Bill 411?
I don't know if that'll be part of their prospectus. I mean, it might be part of their consideration in thinking about adopting it. I don't know. No.
Because I think there are other resources out there that we need
Yeah.
to review.
No.
I would agree. I think that, this has a deadline that is kind of pushing it, but it may not be the best thing. And so we ought to see if there's, need to kind of take a sense of what might be available.
So should we add that to
I
the letter?
think I'd be in favor of adding
Did we already submit the letter?
that question to the
I saw a draft. But.
No, yeah, we have not yet submitted the letter, so that would go out sometime next week. We were waiting for Ben to get back to sign that, but what was sorry?
Possibly
the addition?
considering other options beyond this agreement.
Yeah.
If that would be something.
Yeah.
I think that would make a more complete report if we have the review of the other options there.
I can easily incorporate that in. That's no problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they'd be able to tell us the scope of all that, but they might be able to say, and there's this other possibility.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Any other comments? Great. Yeah, thanks everyone for your comments. Appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Motion by Board Member Lopez, second by Board Member Heyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, thank you all very much.